Hi, my name is Rohan Dixit, and I'm the CEO at Lief Therapeutics, where we have created a smart patch for mental health. As you can see here, it's a small, flexible patch that I'll share a little bit more information with you now about. So as I mentioned, Lief is focused on diagnosing and treating mental health conditions through a technology, this patch that integrates with a wider ecosystem for remote patient monitoring. And so the reason that we are so interested in mental health is, as many of you know, there's currently a mental health crisis in the United States and across the world. More than 40 million Americans have anxiety, 16 million have depression, but 2 out of 3 are actually not receiving any treatment at all. And that causes hundreds of billions of dollars of cost to the healthcare system beyond being a challenge and a difficulty for the patients and their families themselves. And so why is mental health care so broken? There's really 3 key reasons. One is that clinicians are guessing when they're treating somebody with mental health issues. There are not objective biomarkers like you have in every other field of medicine for mental health. The second reason is that because there aren't enough psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists in the country to treat everybody who needs help, patients often aren't able to find someone who can actually provide them mental health services in person at all. And so that causes long wait times and really a tough time for people to find the care that they need. And all of that ends up resulting in a lot of extra cost, both to the patient, as I mentioned, but also to the system as a whole. And so if you look at insurance company data, you can see that patients with anxiety and depression, the 2 largest mental health conditions in the country, cost on average between $1,000 and $6,000 extra per year to treat, because of all the issues that come along with not properly getting enough mental health care services to these people and these patients. And so at Lief, we've kind of come up with the solution for a lot of these issues through a scalable technology. And as I mentioned, part of that is the Lief Smart Patch, which is a Class 2 FDA medical device. It's an ECG that tracks a key biomarker of mental health called heart rate variability. This is kind of getting to that point of not having objective biomarkers when treating anxiety, depression, etc. We have used a new emerging biomarker called heart rate variability, or HRV, and created a clinically accurate diagnostic tool for telling when somebody has a mental health condition and also being able to intervene with them in the moment through a digital therapeutic that we have paired together into the device. And I'll show you how that works. But it's really revolutionary because what it allows us to do is, 1, know with accuracy when somebody needs help, and 2, to give them the help they need in a scalable way through technology that really empowers the patient. And we plug this into a telehealth platform. We now have more than 3,500 physicians within our network in 35 plus states across the country. And we are also insurance reimbursable. And so we're able to generate revenue for clinicians as well as treating their patients when we partner with for example, primary care doctors, who often end up being the ones who are treating a lot of mental health conditions across the country. So this is kind of a close-up of the device where you would see it on the body. It goes underneath the clothing, it's flexible, it's fairly thin, so no one knows that you're wearing the device. This is some data that we've shown with around 900 patients, where we were able to, within 5 minutes of putting the device on, tell with quite a high degree of accuracy whether that person had clinical anxiety or not. This is a breakthrough, right? We're using technology, a quick test, to tell whether someone has a mental health condition. We also pair that, as I mentioned, with a digital therapeutic that pairs with the diagnostic in the moment. And so I'll show you how that works. But just very briefly, as an overview, the device uses vibrations, haptic patterns, to communicate to the user invisibly in real time. So the device can tell, using those AI kind of algorithms and diagnostics, when somebody is having an acute anxiety attack, and even a little bit before. I can start to turn the device on and use vibrations to actually guide you through a biofeedback exercise, kind of a technological meditation or tech-guided breathing exercise. And so I'll show you what that looks like, just so you can get a sense for it. So I'll go ahead and tap the device to start a manual dose, as we call it, a biofeedback. I want you to notice my HRV, my heart rate variability number, at the top of the screen there. It's at 16 now. I'm going to start breathing with the device, and I'll show you what happens. So I'll begin. I'm following the vibrations on my body. You can see what would happen in the app. Notice my heart rate is actually turning into a wave pattern. So I'll pause it there. You can see we started around 16 in terms of my HRV, and now within just a few breaths, my HRV has already increased almost 14 points. And so that is, or rather 8 points. And so that's kind of an incredible increase in just a few minutes. What we have shown through clinical trial data is that with patients who are using this intervention regularly over 8 weeks, we're actually able to decrease their anxiety from high to subclinical um, just by following along these exercises 3 times per day. And you can see here, on average, within a 3-minute exercise, we're able to increase people's HRV a full 10 points. That's a huge difference on this key biomarker that actually we're using to both track and treat people who have mental health conditions. As I mentioned, we're integrated into the telehealth system. This is kind of how that would work with, for example, a primary care physician, where we can bring in a telepsychiatrist, a coach, as well as the technology direct to the patient in this remote tool. And as I mentioned, we are insurance reimbursable. We generate on average $150 per patient per month with insurance reimbursement. And we charge the doctor a fee of around $99 in order to use our services and our product and help their patient to feel better and to improve their mental health conditions. So that's a little bit about Lief. I hope that I was able to share some of the excitement that we have here around this scalable technology to really change the way that mental health is treated here in this country. And we are fundraising now, so feel free to reach out if that's of interest. And I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for learning a little bit about Lief.